great. First, these movies made me afraid of planes, traffic, roller coasters, bridges, and now I can't even go up in Space Needles in the 1960s. Originally meant for an HBO Max release, instead they made the right call to send Final Destination Bloodlines theatrical, where it breathed new life into the franchise with fresh ideas, winning over critics and audiences alike. In other words, far more successful than 2025's other years later horror sequel. It had been 14 years since the previous Final Destination, so in that time there were some ideas that were being bounced around, with one script being about first responders, till eventually it became about death stalking whole bloodlines of people, and writing here went to Guy Busick of Scream 5 and Abigail, Laurie Evans-Taylor, and with John Watts of MCU Spider-Man and Clown and Cop Car being brought on. The directors were newcomers to the series too, but Zach Lipovsky is no stranger to horror franchises. He directed Leprechaun Origins, and you can tell how much love the filmmakers have for the series, as they keep in the core elements that bring fans back to the franchise, while introducing new ideas so it doesn't just feel like you're watching the same movie again. For instance, we're going back in time now.
What was that?
Nothing.
It appears someone didn't pay attention to any of the MST3K driving PSAs. Honey, I've got a wicked surprise for you. I just got a brand new mistress. Isn't she gorgeous? But before then, we're going to SeaWorld, baby. Wow, that's nice, dear. There's a cafe on the ground somewhere, isn't there? Yes, Paul called in some favors and got he and Iris tickets for the grand opening of the Skyview. You know, tickets for Herman's Hermits also would have sufficed. The plus side, they'll be eating at a new 5-star restaurant. Downside, this bratty-ass kid and his coins and no proper elevator safety.
We'll take the next one.
Aw, come on. We can fit you in.
Thanks.
In their defense, they didn't know that this was a bad idea. The Towering Inferno hadn't been made yet.
Oh, excuse me. Sorry, it does that sometimes.
Stupid 60s! They were in such a rush to get the tower done, it was completed way ahead of schedule.
The entire project was completed 5 months ahead of schedule.
Is that a good thing?
Of course it is, honey. The cracks in the elevator means we can breathe in the fresh air. I like my towers like I like my steak, rare and bloody. Unfortunately, the man who got him the tickets had been let go. Ah, shucks, honey. Looks like we'll have to settle for tickets on the new Titanic instead. Like all these films, the sound editing here is fantastic. The intensity comes with them just emphasizing the sound of the wind and the building rattling. One of the thoughts at first was that the opening scene would be a riverboat disaster, but they didn't think that they could out-Titanic, or obviously the greatness of Deep Rising. The camera work also gives the audience a little height sickness as well, in a good way that makes you feel like you're part of the horror. Like, nope, this is a whole lot of nope. I'm gonna eat somewhere much safer, like a Waffle House at 2 a.m., thank you very much. All the stars have gotten into this place. Look, there's Bloodworth as a kid. Even Bloodworth's mom is wise. She instantly knows that Iris is pregnant. And what does the doctor recommend? Scaring herself shitless even more. How did they have trouble getting in, but the walking disaster bratty kid got in?
Don't throw that penny. You could kill somebody.
Oh, I'm so sorry, of course. Fat ass.
I'm gonna enjoy what happens soon. After the romantic proposal, of course.
I want to spend the rest of my life with you.
You mean with us?
Us? I'm not adopting that damn kid. This also does characters very well, big or small. When you're supposed to like them, you do. And when you're not supposed to like them, we're waiting for them to get their comeuppance. Figures that a 60s tower could be brought down with a penny. Throughout the franchise, there are a lot of parts that feel like I'm watching a whole movie of nothing but clips from Lloyd's 911 clips of the week. In fact, in the original 911 series, there was a collapsing floor and a dance scene. The cinematography, the editing, and mixing it in with them singing Shout is fantastic. As this was shot by Christian Sebald, he knows how to shoot very colorful scenes of the past. He was cinematographer on Reagan, harkening back to that movie's famous scene where Reagan shouts, "Tear down this tower." And this has been... No, not yet, Lloyd. It's horrifying, it's intense, the imagery is brutal, and there's still a warped sense of humor that doesn't screw up the tone, like them listening to raindrops keep falling on my head. And there's character backstory. That settles it. I'm gonna be a mortician. Best that Bloodworth survives and not this little shit. Guys, if the elevator was rickety on the way up, what do you think it's gonna do now? That was bound to happen regardless of this place falling apart. It's okay, people, just look at the way it's shaped. We just have to find the control room and we'll fly it to safety like a flying saucer. So long as you don't get hit by a piano. Well, I'm never picking up a penny for good luck again. At least this led to one of the biggest audience cheering moments since the babysitting opening from Halloween Ends. Yeah! See, they're gonna be okay. One of them will wake up and stop anyone from going in the tower. Oh, well, shit, that was a surprise. It's just one of Stephanie's nightmares from staying up all night and binge-watching Mad Men. These are recurring nightmares she's having, which seems to link to her family.
So the woman in my dream, her name is Iris, right? That was my grandmother's name.
Steph, that doesn't mean it's your grandma. Half the women in the 60s were named Iris. She's sure to get some answers. Just drive anywhere where there's subtle references to the others, like a near car accident. This starts out with a solid mystery. She's desperate to find out where her grandma is, but her dad is tight-lipped about it, while her brother Charlie just likes giving some tood now and then.
I dreamed a hot dog ate me last night. Like the hot dog was eating me.
You better take this more seriously, or I'm gonna drop a piano on you. I do love the family in this. They have instant chemistry with each other, helped a lot by the fact that the directors let them do a lot of ad-libbing, which feels natural and doesn't stop the movie dead. They need that time for more foreshadowing. It is a nice family, where something off seemed to have happened with Grandma Iris.
She wouldn't let us go to school. She locked us inside the house. She obsessed about all the horrific ways.
Wait, my grandma is Laurie Strode? At least one person is gonna give her info about Grandma.
Whatever you do, do not look in the bottom drawer of the dining room cabinet.
Ew, gross. What am I supposed to do with my cousin's nudie magazines? Now we can take a break. She'll be driving for a while so Lloyd can do his thing.
And now it's time for Lloyd's Out of Context 911 Nashville Clip of the Week.
And it's supposed to sink?
Might not have weighted it enough.
The current's pulling it in. You blew up my damn boat!
Oh my God!
Hey, you caught something, I guess.
We're back, and she found Iris ready to fight off any Persian army that approaches. I love that even though Grandma has never been in the series before, it's like a lot of years later sequels that have their own version of old Laurie from Halloween 2018, but this does it a lot better than Netflix Chainsaw Massacre did. I still have some questions. She's been keeping herself under heavy protection from death, like using a lot of chimes to hear death's wind approaching, but if anything, it looks like these objects would make it way easier for death to kill you. Has it really been this hard for Death to kill her? She has to sleep at some point. Even Alex didn't last too long before Death eventually dropped a brick on his head. So she really did have a premonition back in the 60s where she does the right thing and just tosses the kid off the tower. Not really, but she should have. Guess it's for the best that she gets everyone off the dance floor and saves them.
They closed the restaurant after that. Said it needed additional renovations.
That's right, they added an Auntie Anne's. Even though Death has targeted all the people who survived the tower and their families, she's gotten very good at surviving.
I see you, you fuck.
Who are you talking to?
Oh, just mice. Death sent 2 of his best assassins. But like in the other movies, Death will strike when someone is given important information. All she has to do now is just step outside and let Death help her out in convincing Stephanie.
Seeing is believing.
All these years and no one told Death that just a simple heart attack would be less messy. That way they could have had an open casket. It's bringing all the family members together, like Stephanie's estranged mom, Darlene. She's gonna come in handy. She knows a thing or two about deadly contraptions. She was in Home Alone 3. It gets into her fear, too, that she might turn out crazy and paranoid like her mom and grandma, which is why she, too, should invest in a fortress in the woods and a lifetime supply of wind chimes. No time for that, even Death wants to join the party here. Look, there's even the same fictitious beer brand from the other movies. Death's been waiting decades for Iris to die so he can move on to the rest of the family, where we get to play the best game of the series, the game of what's it gonna be? Glass in the ice, spontaneous Jenga up the ass, Darlene making cookies that Bobby's allergic to. First of all, they should get way better at bartending. Who wouldn't be casual if you break glass near ice? The fake-outs are pretty good too.
Oh my god, there's a bug in there.
And it was one of the deadly bugs from the nest. Iris had been keeping up on the events from the others. She kept a whole book of the most famous death scenes from the series. If she's such an expert, then she should know right away that what we think will be the cause of death will just be trickery. No, the notes specifically say that we gotta look at the foreshadowing from earlier. So that means, well, it's gonna be a little bit of everything, but especially...
It's okay. It's all right.
Another closed casket funeral. Look at the bright side, guys. We didn't have to go buy new funeral clothes. Now her notes are starting to make sense, looking like if a conspiracy theorist made 23andMe. Sweetie, we'd take your theories of the premonition and the order of deaths more seriously if this were a proper PowerPoint presentation and not taped up pieces of paper like you're trying to find D.B. Cooper and Bigfoot. The theory is that there were so many survivors from the tower that that's why it took Death so long to make his way through the families and eventually to Iris, thus putting an end to the theory that creating life will spare your life. Whatever, we'll take our chances drinking glass.
All right.
Julie, look, I love you, but sometimes I really hate you.
I'll believe you if I'm ever killed in a garbage truck. Don't worry, dear. One day we'll find out the truth of the Tommy Westfall universe. As long as we ignore our problems, they'll go away.
Don't let my mom's beliefs derail your life. The same way they did mine.
You'll also be the Judy Greer of the movie. However, now we're starting to focus on my favorite character in the movie, Eric, played by Richard Harmon, someone they probably knew would be a standout character, with one of the most memorable scenes in it, so this whole sequence was the teaser trailer. It's amazing he'd even be able to get out of this. This place has more traps than Grandma's cabin. However, Death has fabulous taste in music, so he's waiting for him to pick a proper song from his playlist.
No, I can't forget the sea.
I insist on only listening to Nilsson when I get a piercing or a tattoo. Death is nice enough to let him finish his tattoo. It'd be embarrassing if they found his body and it just simply said, duh. But on second thought... Maybe I don't want a piercing. There were two kinds of people taking notes in the screening for this. One was movie critics, the other was Jigsaw. Steady, steady does it. You know, this never would have happened at a Claire's. We're 6 movies deep, and if characters just simply stopped going into rooms with any kind of liquid, they'd be fine. Luckily, the filmmakers know how likable Eric is, so...
Steph! Ow! What?
Yeah, damn right. He lives only to die horrifically another day. Don't worry about me, that tattoo parlor catches fire every night. At least I got this sweet new ink.
Oh, yeah, check it out. I got branded.
And my legs have 3rd-degree burns. That's gonna make me score even more. And provide references to the others.
Because that would be fucking crazy. Jeez! Shit!
I like that it plays not only with scenes from the others, but also ones that turned into cliches in other movies, like characters backing into the street and getting hit. No, here we're going back to the classics, like Child's Play 3, which means we'll be getting garbage truck disasters. You still think it may be Eric who dies, but Death is still loving his antics, so instead...
So take a hint and leave us alone, because Death's not coming for our family.
We didn't care that much for her anyway. Julia only had a few bitchy lines. That's what made her the current top contender on Death's list. Sweetie, it's okay. She was our least favorite cousin. We don't even have to get out our funeral suits. She's already in the trash. We'll just leave her there. Now they start believing Stephanie because we're bringing melodrama into this. They thought Eric would be next, but it turns out Eric isn't even related to them because Mom had an affair.
Who's my real dad?
Jerry Fenbury.
Oh. Jared Fenbury? God, what is this? Why you always wanted to play catch?
Adding dramatic family revelations just makes Eric more hilarious. Yeah, we'll deal with that later, so I'm not gonna get flattened by a steamroller, right? And we're a little late to be skeptical.
I'm begging you not to traumatize our kids anymore.
Oh yeah, they're not already properly traumatized. And we're at the point in the movie where Bloodworth usually shows up to give them advice. In this case, Bloodworth is the man they knew as JB.
Something River Hospital. Peace River Hospital. Clear...
Hope.
Gotta squeeze in a Clear Rivers reference too. Plus, Final Destination 4 showed that Clear is a water brand, not a hospital. They think poor Bobby is next, so at first they want him to stay behind, but on second thought, maybe it's best he goes with them to the hospital, and... it'll be a goofy road trip comedy now. They've already brought the family drama with them.
I always keep them where I can see them.
I mean, you could have just had the real thing, but it's okay. Not everyone wants to be a mom.
Do you want me to help you not get crushed by train logs or not? Another memorable thing about the movie is the final appearance from the great Tony Todd, returning for one last scene as Bloodworth, a much more kinder Bloodworth than we've previously seen, and we get the answers we've been waiting for about his character, where he's such an expert on the lore because he too survived Death's wrath when Iris saved him at the Skyview. I spent this whole series thinking, well, he's gotta be Death. He always seemed almost giddy and sadistic about what the previous characters were going through. Perhaps he's nice here because these characters are more likable. It also keeps in what we've learned before, like defeating death by dying then being resurrected, or taking someone's life like in Final Destination 5. He even answers one looming question, which was whether Kimberly Corman from 2 is still alive, and according to him, she is, so that bumps the Final Destination 2 special features out of continuity. And it serves as an extremely heartfelt final message from Tony Todd to fans. They gave him creative control over the scene, where they write it in that he really is sick, and it's a genuine and bittersweet goodbye.
Life is precious. Enjoy every single second.
Jeez, didn't think I'd be crying my eyes out in a Final Destination movie. Or, well, not since Evan died. Let's take a break while they decide who they're gonna kill so they can save themselves. My latest book, Skinamax, is now available for pre-order on Amazon, with the release date being December 5th on ebook, paperback, and hardcover. You can pre-order your copy of the ebook edition by clicking the link in the comments and in the description. We're back, and they've got a rock-solid plan straight out of a 90s buddy movie. Beavis and Butthead would very much approve of their plan. They want to kill Bobby for a few minutes and bring him back after...
No. Well, I mean... No, of course not.
After briefly considering bumping off a baby. We can't do it, bro. We'd be killed right away in prison. They've got the right idea, taking advantage of his peanut allergy, and they're gonna do it right. Generic brand peanut butter cups, the kind that would kill him quicker than the machine itself. Guessing that'll come into play. Same with characters in the series who were foolish enough to go into a room with possessed-looking machinery. These aren't rigged to shoot bullets out of them, are they? I really love watching these antics. This is the longest movie of the series. It clocks in at 1:50, but uses its time wisely. I never feel the length of it, and it is time that they dedicate to making the characters funny and real, so we are bummed out when a lot of them die, as opposed to the recent I Know What You Did Last Summer that was the same length, but unnecessarily so they could have callbacks that play into nothing. Whereas this one has callbacks that are either quick or important information. One bit of info they didn't pay attention to, though, is that if machinery like this starts acting up in a Final Destination movie, get the hell out of that room! Who designed this? Wile E. Coyote? This is gonna get hilarious, just like when every metal object flew into the coyote's lair. Kidding, it's actually a bit sad. I didn't want to see Eric go. Bobby's gotta go too, because we didn't set up that shot of the spring for nothing. No, springs in the head is the main side effect of his peanut allergy. There's only one thing left to do, cabin plot. No one wanted to claim Grandma's cabin when she died, so it's still there. And Christ, she didn't stick us with the electric bill, did she? Now it's like watching action I'd see in a zombie film. The cinematographer also did shoot Resident Evil Apocalypse. Again, I'm surprised that Death didn't do this to Iris years earlier. Like the others, there were some reshoots that went on in the last act. In fact, Darlene was supposed to have died earlier. There's even a shot of it in the trailer where she was supposed to die in the hospital revolving door, but instead...
I'm gonna stay alive as long as...
Grandma was never very good at adding poles to her land. So the only option they have left is to go the Final Destination 2 route and have her drown, then get brought back. Though if there's an epilogue scene, that means something else terrible will happen. This is a damn good film, easily the best of the sequels, and it's the funniest too. The first one may have been a bit scarier, but this one really excels at giving us characters we really care about. They feel like a real family and not just types, so their deaths mean something as opposed to just getting a laugh because of the crazy death scenes. The writers still know the lore, meaning she probably would have been fine if that unlucky Penny wasn't around, and if she didn't receive information that she technically didn't die since her heart didn't stop.
He, brought me back from the dead. What?
Well, technically you weren't dead.
Uh-oh. Well, I guess they won't be in the next one. I like the originality, too, that this wasn't just a callback, but also foreshadowing. And yes, given the great box office and word of mouth for this, they've already greenlit another film. I'll consider going to see that. After watching 6 of these films, I'm never setting foot outside this room again, where the only danger for me here is poisoning from old cereal that I drink out of a bowl of liquid death.
Good luck.